are we destined for these things as HSPs? You know, burnout, sleep issues, autoimmune issues, digestive issues. Is that because you see a lot of HSPs struggling with these
Yeah.
issues?
Yeah. I do think that we have a very significant susceptibility to complex health pictures or burnout symptoms, or some of these health concerns that we're talking about, um, because we process the world as deeply as we do, and every experience of sensory data requires a chemical reaction. So you know, if we see light more brightly, or hear sounds more intensely, depending on, or emotions more intensely, depending on what your sensitivity is, or in some cases, like myself, all of the above, each of those is a chemical reaction. And those chemical reactions require nutrients, and they require extra detoxification and a lot of energy to run those chemical reactions and replenish the nutrients. Once again, I like to think of it as baking a cake. So if you bake one cake, you need your eggs and your oil and your water, and then you need the energy to bake it, and then the experience of the cake, right? So the emotion, the sadness or whatever, or if it's a lot of sadness, then it's 10 cakes, that you're baking. Then you got to go back and clean the kitchen. That's the detoxification piece, and restock your pantry. So these are elements that go into physiological self-care for a sensitive person that, a non-HSP doesn't have to think about. They make one cake, maybe 5 in a day, right? Like we're like cake, 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 cake. We're like this little,
Right, just a hamster wheel of cake
yes,
making.
yes, a hamster wheel of cake making. Yeah. And so they can just eat their regular diet. They can go about, their 80% of the population's self-care, which is just existing, really, and everything, their pantry gets restocked, everything gets cleaned up, and they don't have to think twice about it. But we have a very different internal cellular experience.
I mean,
So that makes us more susceptible, to answer your
this is
question.
no, this is making so much sense because I always think about how much emotional energy we take from processing our experiences. I haven't extended that to think about we need more nutrients or physiological supports. Because right, if we're having all these different chemical reactions in our brain, doing all this processing, our brains are more lit up, taking in all this information. Of course, our body is going to need to pull that energy from somewhere.
Yeah.
And if we're depleted on that level, other systems start to be impacted.
Yes, exactly.
So it's not that we're necessarily susceptible or weak
Yes.
physiologically, it's that we need a different level of input. It seems
Yes.
very just basic,
Yeah.
right? It's not
It's
a
empowering
deficit.
to think that. No, no, it's not weakness. It's not a deficit. It's
Right,
not, I was born to be ill, or I was born to be
right.
not well. It's, I was born to be cared for in a very different way.